Welcome to Somnium Stories, where we serenade you to sleep on your bed or couch, or for those of you by a campfire or driving along the highway on a long journey. We tantalize the mind with real life or fictional stories, and we invite you to listen to the end and comment below if you think the story is real or fictional. In the next video, we will reveal whether the story on the previous episode was real or fiction, as well as the identities of major protagonists in the story. Check the description below to see if the story was real or fiction. Now sit back and enjoy the serenade. In the quiet countryside of rural Germany, nestled among rolling hills and whispering forests, in the middle of a tranquil village became the unlikely stage for a harrowing tale of supernatural terror. It was here that the haunting ordeal of a young adult, who we'll call Dot, unfolded, a chilling saga that would blur the lines between faith and reason, leaving an indelible mark on the collective consciousness of all who bore witness. The story began innocuously enough with our young protagonist, a devout young person of unwavering faith, whose typical days were occupied with farm chores that were carried out with an air of peaceful content. Dot loved the farm life and outside of attending regular church services, was known by the rest of the village community as a very pleasant and lovable person. Well liked and was never seen to be at odds with anyone at any given time. Dot spoke the local language and whose education was basic by their community standards. It is in the midst of this simple mundane existence Dot began to experience strange and inexplicable phenomena that defied all rational explanation. On one occasion, Dot, on a cool early evening, decided to check if she had secured the horse stable as Dot usually does on a daily basis. As Dot made their way to the stable, Dot felt that the evening air was slightly cooler than the night before, forcing Dot to rub both sides of the arms in an attempt to warm up. As Dot entered the horse stable, Dot heard a whisper, but brushed it off, and wind passing through the door in the manner that would create an odd sound. However, after closing the stable door, the whisper came again, and a little louder, and in a language Dot didn't understand. All Dot could hear was quello che voi siete, noi eravamo quello che noi siamo, voi sarete. Dot had no clue at the time, but the words were Latin, and the meaning of which was exactly what you are now, we once were, and what we are now will become you. This, of course, made the experience terrifying. Being a religious person whispers in the evening night. It does not bode well if it were some inhuman presence attempting to sway her from her path. It is this innocence that one may assume is what draws such experiences to people like Dot, but who can say for certain? What began as fleeting whispers in the dead of night soon escalated into a torrent of nightmarish visions and violent convulsions, as if some unseen force had taken possession of Dot's very body. As the days turned into weeks, Dot's condition deteriorated with alarming rapidity, her once bright eyes now clouded with the darkness of an otherworldly presence. Desperate for answers, Dot's devoutly Catholic family turned to the church for guidance, seeking solace in the wisdom of the clergy and the sanctity of the age-old rituals. But what began as a quest for spiritual salvation soon descended into a harrowing battle for Dot's very survival, as the forces of light and darkness clashed in a cosmic struggle for dominion over the tormented spirit. The rites of exorcism were once regarded as relics of a bygone era, became a grim reality as priests from across the land convened to confront the malevolent entity that held Dot in its thrall. The exorcisms themselves were a grueling ordeal, lasting for hours on end as Dot writhed and contorted in agony, Dot's anguished cries echoing through the hallowed halls of the church. The priests, their faces etched with determination and resolve, invoked the name of the Almighty with fervent prayer, wielding holy water and sacred relics in a desperate bid to banish the demon that had taken root within Dot's body. But as the days turned into months and the exorcisms continued unabated, it became painfully clear that Dot's torment was far from over. Dot's once vibrant spirit now seemed trapped in a prison of despair Dot's frail body a mere vessel for the unspeakable evil that ravaged from within. In the dimly lit confines of the ancient church, the atmosphere crackled with a palpable sense of anticipation as the gathered priests prepared to confront the malevolent force that had taken hold of Dot. The flickering candlelight cast dancing shadows upon the time-worn walls, lending an air of solemnity to the sacred ritual about to unfold. Dot's once angelic features contorted the agony, lay upon the cold stone floor, the body wrecked by violent convulsions as if buffeted by unseen hands. Dot's voice, once sweet and melodic, now echoed with a guttural growl and seemed to emanate from the depths of the abyss. The lead priest, a venerable figure clad in the regal vestments of his voice, stepped forward with an air of unwavering resolve. With eyes ablaze with righteous fury, he brandished a crucifix before him, a symbol of Christ's sacrifice gleaming in the dim light like a beacon of hope amidst the encroaching darkness. By the power vested in me by Almighty God, he intoned, his voice resonating with authority, I command thee, foul spirit, to reveal thyself and depart from this vessel. At his words, Dot's body convulsed in renewed intensity, the limbs thrashing wildly as if battling an invisible foe. The stench of sulfur filled the air, mingling with the heady aroma of incense as the forces of good and evil clashed in a cosmic struggle for dominion over Dot's tormented soul. Undeterred, the priests pressed on, their voices raised in fervent prayer as they invoked the names of saints and martyrs long departed. Holy water was sprinkled liberally, its blessed touch eliciting a chorus of unearthly shrieks with Dot's lips as the demonic entity recoiled in agony. Hour after hour after grueling hour passed, each moment fraught with tension as the exorcists fought valiantly to wrest Dot from the clutches of the abyss. The walls of the church seemed to reverberate with the echoes of her tormented cries, a haunting refrain that spoke of unspeakable suffering and unyielding faith. And then, in a moment of sublime clarity, the darkness receded, like a retreating tide fleeing the light of dawn. Dot's convulsions ceased, Dot's breath coming in ragged gasps, as the malevolent presence that had plagued Dot for so long finally relinquished its hold. In the end, it was not the exorcists or the clergy who would deliver Dot from her torment, but the cold hand of death itself. On a frigid winter's night, Dot succumbed to the ravages of this affliction, Dot's tortured soul finally finding peace in the embrace of eternity. The end. If you think you have an idea if this story is real or fictional, comment down below and like and subscribe so you can find out the answer on our next episode of Somnium Stories.